Okay, I would like to welcome you folks to our March 29th meeting for the Thicket of Diversity. And if I have your permission, I would like to record this for the members who are not here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We are, at this time, we have Bart Gaskin and Kimberly. I'm not sure how to say your last name.
Hutch.
Kimberly Hutch, Carl
ma'am.
Knight, and myself, Mary Catherine Johnston, are here. Matt Pine is not going to be available, nor Dr. Solomon. They have family commitments, but here is Dr. Randy getting on. And we will see who else may join us. Welcome, Randy. I shared the previous minutes by email. Do we have any questions over the minutes? Any questions over the minutes? Okay, no questions, so I can assume that they'll be accepted as read. We have Dale joining. I assume they'll be accepted as read. For the TCQ bank balance, I listed it for $43,458.64. And that's from the statement. I have it on the statement. And it's in the citizens account. And the report that BTA does, the financial report, they're a month behind because of she has to have time to get the financial information. So this is the most accurate funds in the account. At this time, we haven't had any new additions of TCQ funds. We always keep our fingers crossed that we do. We have estimated still for administration that has not been spent $4,907. We still have $10,408 committed to researchers. We have not done any ads for volunteer projects. We have $6,000 in the account for that, but I would like to try that. I have some ideas I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And then we have funds available for new projects is $23,111. So at this time, we can fund about two projects. So with the money that we have. The TCQ report, the last report was completed, and I will do the next one, but I have to wait for the March statement to do that. Do I have any questions on the financials at this time?
Sounds good.
Okay, we're moving forward. And okay, so the support letters, we talked about this at the last meeting, and it has been many years since we sent out any kind of letter to the past companies who have done any kind of mitigation. And what we did a long time ago is we sent them, we want to thank you for your past support of the TOD, and this is some of our accomplishments, and we send to them the 2021 and 2022 accomplishments so they know what their money went to, and then just let them know that we're available and we're active and just to consider us. So we're in the process of doing that. The Diane, the BTA director, now has a new secretary, Cindy Black. And so they're at work preparing the letters, and they'll be sending those out. And they will also send them out to the county judges in the 7 counties for our project so that the county judges are aware of us. And we did this a number of years ago, and they don't know that we're doing this work. So the accomplishments is very helpful. So that's ongoing, and I think by the next meeting, I'll be able to report that it's been completed. So for the science committee, we have 2 projects that are active. We have Weaver, and Weaver is leeches, and we have LaRoche and he is from Rice University, and his is tiger beetles. And the tiger beetle research has reported to me that they have found 5 species of tiger beetles. We've only collected 12 specimens. We've observed hundreds and have not quantified exactly how many we have observed on our many field trips last summer. One of the specimens collected is, I'm not going to pronounce this right, Unota tagata, and it was included in a genomic analysis, the results of which are currently under review in the publication. And I believe, did I write it down? The publication, Phylogenetics and Evolution, that's available online as a preprint. So that's really exciting when we have some professional research that is, and he says, we're sure to include thanks to the TOD grant and the BTA Association in the funding section at the end of the paper. Now, I don't know if he wrote the TCEQ credit, but I always try and get the TCEQ verbiage that they want when I submit newspaper articles. So anyway, so we have that going. I don't have an update on the leeches, but they did come as well. And the leeches, they also work with the Smithsonian Institute. So that's exciting. But those are the only 2 active programs that we have right now. And I did send an email to the researchers that they're supposed to send their annual report to the national park as required. That's part of their permit process. And I know the leeches did. I'm not sure. No, I know the tiger beetles did. I'm not sure about the leeches, but they were reminded. So that's the status on that. I would like for us to get a copy of the annual report too, because we don't need them to give us additional information. Just give us a copy of what you're sending them, because I can't do anything. I can't add anything unless I have information. So I will be talking in the data section about the taxa tally. So I'll add that in a bit. But on education and outreach, I don't know if you're familiar, but Dr. Scott did a podcast. It's called Wild World. And it's pretty good. I listened to the first two podcasts, and you can just Google Wild World with Scott Solomon. And I'm going to do a press release and put it in the Big Thicket Bulletin, but it's really good. And I think it's funded, well, it looks like it's funded by Rice University. They have a travel group that people can join. You don't have to go to Rice, but you can go on these tours with them. So I think that's who's funding this, but it's pretty cool. So I was proud to have one of our members do that. And we did get, I know if you're BTA, you're familiar with the Big Thicket Association Bulletin. Kimberly, are you on the mailing list for the bulletin?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And Bart, are you on the mailing list as well?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Great. So you know that we did get the TOD accomplishments came out in the bulletin. So that was good. I had trouble getting it. Right now, I have the Examiner and Silsbee Bee are about the only ones left. I used to have a long list of local newspapers that I could submit to. Now I'm down to those 2, and it's a hit or miss. And they changed editors, so it didn't get in. But I may try again. I may rework it and try and get that in again. Oh! Then I did a virtual field trip, which was pretty cool. It was with a girl that I met. It's called iSchool, and I met her at the tree plant. Salud, Dale. I met her at the tree planting that was hosted at the preserve. And so it was she teaches iSchool for it's over 200 high schoolers. They're public school, but it's an online program. So I was able to talk about service learning and some of the projects that we do. So that was a lot of fun. It was kind of getting back into the classroom for me, even though it was virtually. And then I did another one with the Lions District, and it will go into their historical archive for training videos. And it was connecting Lions through environmental science and citizen science, environmental service and citizen science. So that was fun too. And upcoming this Saturday at Ford Park, we have Champions for Nature. And the Big Thicket Association will have a booth, and I invite you guys to come out there. Dale, are you going to be there? I know Master Naturalists are. Any of you headed that way? I went last year, and it was really good. It's in the exhibit hall on Saturday and Sunday, and it's free, and it's all the different local nature groups have exhibits and interactive hands-on activities for the kids, and it's fun. So anyway, I'll man a booth for two booths. I'll be there probably about 4 hours. And
I'll be there Sunday.
You'll be there Sunday? Yeah. Thank you, Dale.
Yeah.
Okay. And then April 21st, I'm going to do, this is the eve of Earth Day, and I'm going to do a Earth Day historical heritage walking tour here in Sour Lake. And the Lions Club and hopefully the Chamber will help promote it. And I'll talk about the history of Earth Day in Hardin County and the Big Thicket conservation movement. So I'm excited about that one also. So that's what's going on with education. Anybody else have any thoughts on education? Anything else going on?
I have some things later to talk to you about on the education part of it, because we're starting a new program and stuff. So,
Okay.
And we have some money and stuff, I hope.
Okay. All right. So we'll put that under the new business. And then for data management, okay, there we go. There's the tiger beetle data that I told you about was getting published. And I have worked really hard on the tax tally, and I can share what I have up through December 22. I don't feel like I can add the tiger beetles because I don't have any longitude or latitude data. He just told me five species, 12 specimens. Don't you think I need to have the data before I can list it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that project is ongoing, so I would call that preliminary data.
Uh-huh.
Wait until it's
I just want to put it in there so badly, but I just
it won't take long, I'm sure. Then you can put it in.
Yeah, I just don't, have to have it. And there's like maybe three categories of the historical data that I'm still fighting, trying to get the list, but that's an ongoing effort. I did have a girl that helped me a little bit, that she's real sharp. I knew her from Coots, and she needed to get some volunteer service hours. And so she came and helped me a little bit. And that was wonderful. And I wish I could work with her more, and I might be able to, because I was just picking her brain. She just knows a lot about it's too long to go into it, but she had lots of ideas on how to promote and social media and things like that. More things than I can ever do, but it was just really fresh listening to someone that was excited about it and was giving me ideas and helping me. So anyway, she worked with me maybe about 15 hours. So it was nice. All right. And then also, Dale, I made a copy I did not want her, of course, the Google Drive, I made a copy for her, and she's going to that way she can't change any of the files, but she's going to the species list. She's going to clean them up on Excel and have them all kind of a standard clean list, because some of them, anyway, that's an ongoing project. The field research station hasn't had a whole lot of activity, but we did have the fire crew from Nature Conservancy has been there a number of times. And we had Andrew Veach, who is with the Park Service, and he's studying international archaeology. And the cleaning has been conducted after the stays each time as required by the Park Service. So everything's good out there. I asked several times if they needed me to go out there and monitor and see if I needed to do an inventory of cleaning projects or whatever, cleaning products. I do that periodically, and they said they didn't think I needed to right now, so I haven't been. And on new business, we did talk a little bit about the science conference, and I apologize. I pulled up the conferences with the Beaumont Chamber of Commerce, and there was a lot of information, and I'm kind of a paper person, and I wanted to print it out rather than read it all online, and so I haven't printed it yet. But if we do a science conference, my opinion is it should be in 2025, because the Park Service has been meeting for over a year to plan their 50th anniversary. And they have planned something for every month, and we don't want to throw something at them while they're doing their 50th. So that is what I'm proposing, is that if we do have the science conference, that it'll be after the 50th. And I'm sure we would, if we do that, I think we'll get more park support. And it also gives us more time.
I had intended to try to get just some basic information on logistics of hosting on campus here to see if that was even a possibility. I have not done that. I apologize also, but I'll try to do that before our next meeting, so we have some idea of that, if that's even a possibility.
Sure. And you and I might even talk,
Sure.
do a little dialogue. I can get my information, and you and I can discuss it. And but I really think we need to do it after they're all through with everything, because they've been religiously working, planning something for every single month, and we certainly don't want to step on any toes there.
No, I agree. I think that's the longer the better, as far as I'm concerned.
More time. And so we do have the Andrew Veach, the archaeology researcher, did express an interest in doing a science cafe. So that's exciting. The only thing is we don't know when he's coming back, but he will for sure be back this summer. So we do have one potential science cafe. And what that is, Kimberly and Bart, we usually have it at the Logon Cafe, and we have a presenter, and it's just an informal evening, and it's primarily Thicket of diversity researchers. We're not necessarily limited to that. We've had Park Service people speak before, but it's always something educational, and they'll have a slideshow, and it's just great. It's everybody that comes to it, they really enjoy it. So
they're fun, and we fill that place up.
We do. We fill it up.
Although it's not huge, but they get good turnout, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a good crowd. You always learn something. And it's been a while since we've done it, because we're just a very small group of workers. And we really, we used to, at one time we had a TOD director, and we don't right now. So we're primarily a committee of the BTA, and we do the best we can. We are going forward, but it's baby steps. So, but we do move forward. So that's what's important. So when I worked with this girl, this volunteer work, and then I noticed that the BTA and Diane, they did a place on, they promoted volunteers, and you can go and you can register at on the BTA website. And I did speak with Diane. You can register on the BTA website and you can volunteer. Well, they did not list TOD as potential volunteers. And what I really need is someone with technical skills that can do, and I made a list and I can email it to you, is what I'll do after the meeting. But someone that can, like go to each of the researchers that we have and do a Google Scholar research to see if they've published anything since they worked for us. That's like going down a wormhole. It's so fascinating. You get sidetracked when you say, oh, this is a good article. This is a good article. But to update that and then to cross-check with the website that we're not missing any research that has come out that's related to what we have. So I could use a volunteer for that, but it's pretty specific as far as skills, a skill set. And then every once in a while you have a researcher that asks for volunteers, but generally if they need volunteers, they come with it, like their students, they kind of come with their own volunteers. Like Matt Pine with he had his class when he had researched the alligators. So we don't have that need as often as I thought we would initially. But anyway, so I'm thinking about doing some kind of ad where we could use the funds that we have in the TCQ to see if we can recruit some volunteers and coordinate it through the process that the BTA has. So that's kind of a new thing that's coming up. And so Carl, you shared a little bit last time about your students, and you're so eager to work with us, and we sure would love to have you working with us. And you want to share a little bit now?
I can.
Okay.
What we have is we have some money. We had another grant that somebody else had, and it had quite a bit of money in it. And so what we're trying to do is do undergraduate research work in the summertime like we did before. And out of the 93 kids we had in that program, 90 of them have college degrees. So it turned out very well. And some of those stories might be very good to put in into our paper, because they all came down to the Big Thicket, and one's got her own research laboratory and everything in a private college right now, all based on what she did with the Big Thicket and those people down there. So we can show and demonstrate, and we have the data to support that it's a good thing. The other thing we have is we got four scanning electron microscopes now. The other people got envious of us. I hate to tell you that, but they did. But the thing they didn't have was a technician and to run the equipment, and we do, and we have a contract to take care of it, so that's helpful. And so we have the money to back it up to take care of that. So what we can offer, because everything's free, the taxpayer paid for the equipment. So our offer to all the scientists, if they want to use our equipment, they only have to pay for supplies. But anything that costs money, they'll have to come up with their own, what will be a minimum. But as far as using the scope and everything, that's all free, or the scopes. And those scopes are portable, so we can take those. And Jessica Silva, that used to was part of our project, she's the director of that now and in charge of they had $5 million, so that was quite a bit of money. So what we're trying to do is establish a research in the summertime, and then we can provide students to the researchers. So if they, and we can pay them, we can pay the students, and I think we can pay the researchers too. So we can look into that. So what I'd
Well,
like to,
what this kind of, what I'm thinking offhand, Carl, is we need to find a researcher and have them submit a proposal. And then so they get their little bit of money from us, the 13,000 from us, and then you've got your researcher that you can connect with. And so I know Allison Tartar mentioned that she wanted to submit again. There was something, I can't remember, but something she was asked from the state. It's been so many months since I've talked to her, but she might be a good one because she does want to submit another proposal. But if we had a researcher that was designated with you, that's going to make the connection, because that we don't have that. You've got your group that wants to do work, but they need the researchers. So we need to get a researcher that's interested to submit a proposal. And our proposal is not hard. It's about 4 or 5 pages. So it's not hard, but they do have to go through the process, and it has to go to the committee and get approved.
what I wanted to propose what I wanted to do is see if we could get a group together to sit down and see what our assets are. And so where do we want to go, and how do we use the assets that we have to do the things, to do the research work, and how each one of us can contribute to that with students and workers and stuff like that with grants. And
Okay.
then I talked with Dale about a year or two ago, and we talked about doing a project, a 10-year project, and we do one place a year. And so we go out and we select the place and find the plants that are in that area. And then it's an ongoing thing, and we do one unit per year and come back every 10 years and see the changes, environmental changes in that thing. So this year we might do one of the units down there, and then the next year we'll do another one. But we need researchers to go in there and pick out the plants and the animals and stuff that they want to select as indicator plants. And then we see what the changes are, environmental changes. And then we can also use they have all the satellites, and then you can take out the rain, you can take out the sun, you can take out anything. They have like 13 different filters that you can put in and see a correlation between the plants that died and what didn't die and what was successful and stuff like that. But all those things, if we sat down and we could get organized, and yesterday I talked to 2 girls that were in my office, and one of them just graduated from Baylor, and she's a nurse for a neurosurgeon. So she says, I'm ready to do something else on the side. So she's a real leader type person, and she's young and vibrant, stuff like that. So we get some young people, and so we can use them to recruit other young people. But what I was thinking, if we could get a group together and sit down and see what we've got, and then look at it realistically and see what's feasible and what's not feasible, because we got quite a bit of equipment. We got a $600,000 scanning scope up here that's sitting, and we can use it. So
Well, as you know, we like in the big thicket, you have to have a researcher that has a permit through the preserve. You can't collect anything and take to the lab to use the microscope unless it's, a bona fide researcher with a permit.
Sure.
But one thought, and I don't know if it might be something that would be a beginning, but have any of you worked with iNaturalist, the app? Have you worked with it?
No.
Dale, are you familiar with iNaturalist?
Yes, I'm a user.
Pardon
I'm
me?
familiar with it and looked at it, but I'm not an expert on it, or I don't really know how to work with iNaturalist.
Well, this is where you just go out, you go out and you take a picture with your phone, and then you have it on iNaturalist, and it picks your latitude and longitude, it maps it for you, and you try and identify it. You can get help with identifying, but that might be a good, like an introduction, Carl, where your students could come in and start collecting information that way. But I will be happy to meet with you. I said that last time and it didn't happen, but I seriously would be happy to meet with you and see what direction we can go. Either getting a researcher that you can,
What we have,
that's going to work with you, or we could start with iNaturalist, developing a program with that. And the iNaturalist has potential. It's not as scientific as what we're doing with the researchers, but it's a good start. I know Texas Parks and Wildlife encourages use of it. They sometimes at Village Creek State Park have had iNaturalist groups come in, and Dr. Cruz, who was our, do I say it right? Bryophyte researcher, he has done some training with iNaturalist and brought a whole crew of about 40 people, and they went all over the preserve, taking pictures and logging and counting, and it was just a really neat experience. But I was kind of thinking of trying to develop something like that for the Lions Club too, because they mentioned it to me when I presented the app. They said, "Why don't you do this?" I thought, it sounds like a good idea. But anyway, so Carl, thank you. I think you and I are going to schedule a time to get together. Okay.
I'm going to the DLIA conference up in September. I mean, in the 20th of April.
Okay.
And talk with Todd Witcher and see how they're handling that research business, because they're still doing research with the Smoky Mountains.
Right. Yeah, they've been an exceptional program. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this is the main business. Carl, I am going to get with you. We'll just decide if it's going to be before, after, or after. And so I'll definitely get with you, and we'll come up with something written. Okay, folks. Does anybody else have anything to add?
I have a question about. I want to find out about the housing at the big thicket. What are the rules now for having people come down there?
Okay, the rules are posted on the website. If you go to Thicket of Diversity, go to Field Research Station, and then you can go down and you can see the calendar on the days that it's open, and you can see what the rules are, and they did a price change. So I'm not about to go and say what the rules are because there was a change. But if you go to Thicket of Diversity, Field Research Station, it'll be all right there for you. Kimberly, thank you so much.
Pretty soon.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes.
You're welcome.
Oh, go ahead, Kimberly. You gonna say something?
I'll say you're welcome.
I had a couple things quick. Bart, Bart's having trouble with SharePoint. Dale, are you a person that can help him with that? Or who should he talk to about that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
I can do. I'll get
You want-
with you, Bart.
Yeah. We'll get together later on it, and
So can we
Right.
quickly kind of introduce? We've got some new people and kind of tell each other who we are. So Carl, Dr. Carl Knight, Eastfield College.
Yeah.
Is that
That's-
correct? Is it still Eastfield College?
No, we're Dallas College. It's a big political mess.
Okay, Dallas College. Okay. Mary Catherine Johnston, retired teacher. Okay, Bart Gaskin.
Bart Gaskin, retired teacher.
Okay, Randy Yoder, Dr. Randy Yoder.
Biology at Lamar.
Okay, Dale Parrish.
Retired.
One of the nicest guys I know.
Say it one more
Look at that.
time, Dale. It was garbled on my end.
I said, I'm a retired IT yo-yo.
Okay. Okay, Kimberly.
So I attended Lamar University and studied under Dr. Richard Harrell. And then now, yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, very good experience. So I know Dr. Yoder for a number of years and Dale Parrish through volunteering and things like that in the clean air and water meetings. But I work currently now at the TCQ and I do criminal investigations. We have an
Okay.
environmental crimes unit, so it's
Okay,
a great job.
cool. Okay, well, thank you all very much. And
Mary
it's,
Catherine, hey, Mary Catherine, can I talk to you after everybody else? I got a couple questions for you. It's nothing
Yes.
scary, but I don't need to involve everybody else right now. So can you stay
Okay.
on? Yeah.
okay.
Mary Catherine, could you clarify again, what is the event going on in Sour Lake? I think you said around April 20th, 21st or something.
I am going to do a little, I've done this tour twice, and it's just going to be a walking tour, and I can send you a flyer. And
Okay.
it's going to be, we're going to start at the fire station and walk down the main street, and we have murals, and I'm going to talk about the murals, and then we'll end up by the library. There's a little museum, and so it'll be a historical tour, but I'm going to do Hardin County history, Sour Lake history, and Big Thicket history. So it's Hardin County
All right.
heritage. So
All right.
I've done it twice. I did it for the first this summer for that deaf group. You remember I talked about it? It was that deaf group corpse that came, and they were working at the visitor center, and I had to get an interpreter. It was a really neat experience. And then I had pictures because I knew they couldn't hear. And so I had pictures as I went along, and that really helps the tour because I have the old timey pictures to show as I'm walking around. But anyway, so I'm going to give it a try because I want to do something for Earth Day, and the Lions in Sour Lake wanted me to do something, and it was like, I can't coordinate a cleanup project or anything, but I can do a walk. So anyway, so that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'll send it out.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All your hard work. Nice meeting you all.
Okay, and I'll stay on for Randy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice
Kim.
meeting
I
you.
won't keep you long.
Nice meeting you too.
Bye, Kim.
Thank you. Bye, Randy.
Bye. So I can go ahead and ask you about what I need to ask you about. Couple of things. Am I muted? I'm not. Okay. So as far as your work with the tax
Oh, let me
tally.
stop. Can I stop recording? Let me stop
Sure.
recording.
Yeah.